gentleman from Florida, Mr. DeSantis, for 5 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Kadzik, the chairman, and myself sent a letter to the Justice Department in December requesting the case file for the prosecution of Dinesh D'Souza. We asked for it by the end of the month. We have not received it, which is obviously not a surprise given what people have said during this hearing. But I just wanted to ask you, will the department produce the case file?
We're willing to come and brief on the issue. Presenting prosecution files presents particular law enforcement sensitivities. I know that the issue that you and the chairman are interested in is whether or not there was selective prosecution.
Among others. I mean, there are a number of issues that we would like to review and conduct oversight about how the case was handled, and you know, we want to get prompt responses. We don't want this to turn into the IRS or some of the other investigations that have just been stonewalled to death. So the case is over. There's no ongoing investigation. The sentence, I think, has even been served. And so clearly we have a public interest in conducting oversight over how the department's doing its job. I mean, we fund your agency, and I think that we're entitled to the file. So we don't want a briefing, we want the file. So you're going to produce the file?
I'll be happy to take that back, and we'd be happy to brief. But as I indicated, there are particular law enforcement prosecutorial sensitivities
such as
providing a case file. Well, there's the names of witnesses. There's individuals who cooperated with the investigation, might not be publicly disclosed. There's the internal deliberations of the prosecutors that are deliberative and subject to the.
So basically, if a prosecutor did have illicit motivation in fight, we're not entitled to that. So the public's never going to be able to know whether someone had ill intent when they were providing a case. Is that what you're saying?
No, that's not what I'm saying. And in fact, that issue.
Then how would we discover the truth?
If I could finish, that issue was raised before the court, and the court said that the defense did not provide any evidence of selective prosecution.
Because the defense also did not have access to what we're trying to seek access to. I mean, you know, it was, I understand in the middle of a case how you would say that there's attorney work product because there's an adversarial, we have an adversarial system, you start getting into strategy, and then that's just not the way our system functions. But that ship sailed. I mean, the case is over, in the books, prosecute, felony, serve the sentence. So that whole argument really is gone at this point. The interest is done. Is it your view that you talk about law enforcement sensitivities? Does that trump a subpoena from the Congress? Because if we don't get the case file, obviously, through the request, then we may issue a subpoena from the committee.
As I said, we would like to find a way to accommodate the committee and provide it with the information that it needs. I think the first step in that process would be a briefing so that you can ask questions and receive information, and then we can see what other further accommodations may be necessary.
When can you let us know what the department's position on the file is? I'm not even asking when you can produce it, although I assume the Department of Justice still employs interns who could easily make the copies. When are you going to let us know? You said you're going to take it back and talk to people. So when are you going to be able to respond to the committee one way or another?
I think we can respond to that within the next 2 to 3 weeks. Okay.
Well, I mean, I don't think it should take 3 weeks. I mean, I think that we would like to have an answer, you know, towards the third week of this month. And if we don't get that, then we're going to continue to press the issue, because I look around, I hear the stories, and you know, at the end of the day, it's not members of Congress who are ultimately being stonewalled on a lot of this stuff. It's the American people, because our constituents ask us about things. We have constituents who were targeted by the IRS, constituents who are in other situations, and they come and they see a government that's just totally unresponsive, and a government that's very difficult to get answers from. And I don't think that's really the way the system was designed. So we will await that response, and obviously we will be in contact one way or another after that. I yield back the balance.